So hello my dear friends, welcome back. Welcome to your channel Cooking Astrology. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for subscribing my channel and liking my videos. Thanks a lot. So let's continue our Dasha series in Vedic Astrology, and in this particular video, let's try to understand 11th house Lord Dasha and what are going to be the results, whether positive, negative, that are specifically connected with this house. Let's try to understand in this particular video. The very first thing, 11th house Lord Dasha is going to be pretty progressive in nature, also bit karmic in nature, and also going to be a spiritual fulfilling Dasha in front of you. Now I will explain you why this Dasha is karmic also, progressive also, and basically why it's spiritual fulfilling Dasha. The very first thing, if you look into the Kal Pursha Kundli, 11th house is particularly governed by the Saturn, okay? It's the sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius is a air element, okay? And air represents flexibility, movement also. And air is also the zodiac sign which represents a lot of new learnings in your own life. Now, irrespective of which ascendant you are or which planet is gaining control over the 11th house, it may be you are Libra ascendant, Taurus ascendant, Pisces ascendant. So, your 11th house is going to be ruled by some planet. But this 11th house Lord is actually going to be having the energy which is connected with the 11th house actually. Okay, irrespective of which zodiac sign is falling in your 11th house. And once again, we are not talking about the planets that are actually sitting in the 11th house. I'm just talking about the planet which is controlling the 11th house. Now, it may be in your chart 11th house Lord going in the 12th house, 2nd house, 8th house actually. And many people are also going to be in between. Suppose you are going to live from 0 to 80 years of age. So, maybe right now you are going through this Dasha. Maybe after 5-10 years you will encounter this Dasha. Maybe in the old age you are encountering this Dasha. And many individuals in their entire life, they will not be able to encounter this Dasha. Now, it depends over the sequence of the Dashas also. But first of all, if you are going through this Dasha or maybe approaching this Dasha, the very first thing which you need to be keeping in your mind is you need to actually understand your own materialistic desires which are actually present inside you. Because as soon as you are entering into this house Lord Dasha, the main factor which is the factor of a Kali Yuga. Now Kali Yuga is this 21st century, it's actually getting more and more intensified inside you. So what will happen, people are naturally considering growth as the only factor and the only success in their own life. Like, okay, if I'm growing in my life, that's it, and I don't need any other thing. And that is where after attaining growth, specifically in this 11th house Lord, this will give you a lot of progression and growth actually. Irrespective of its dignity also, okay, it doesn't matter whether you are, your 11th house Lord is in strong dignity or even in the weak dignity, this house is going to be giving you progression inside you, okay. It's similarly like a third house. Third house is a Sangharsh Dasha, okay. So, this will going to create a lot of struggles into your own life, and out of that struggle, something big and beautiful is coming. Similarly, this 11th house is also going to create a lot of progression. And out of that progression cycle which you are going through, something big and beautiful is coming, but that part is coming from the spiritual side of the life actually. Because this is the only Dasha which actually have the capacity to create the self-realization inside the individuals regarding how much is necessary for me, or is this necessary for me, or from the materialistic standpoint of view, how much amount of money is required for my sustenance and my fulfillment. And that is where then the second part of this Dasha is going to be more connected with the spiritual side of the life. You also need to pay attention towards the second zodiac sign of the planet which is gaining control over the 11th house. Okay, it's not only because in different charts, your 11th house Lord might be planet Saturn, and Saturn is also having the second zodiac sign, so it might be gaining control of some other house. It may be Jupiter, so Jupiter is also going to be gaining control over some different houses in your horoscope. So you also need to pay attention towards the second zodiac sign. But this 11th house is actually going to be dictating your life in such a way where the progression of money at some point in your life will eventually going to hit you with the realization of the spirituality into your own life. Secondly, during this Dasha, there are also going to be many new adventures of earning or making money through different sources that are also going to be becoming the part of your own life, irrespective of the age also. Okay, it doesn't matter whether you are in your 70s or 80s also. Still, I will tell you, if you are in your 70s and 80s and you are hitting this 11th house Lord Dasha, this Dasha will give you work actually. Okay, it's not going to be a Dasha where you will only like that, okay, it's my retirement age. In the old age also, even if you go through this Dasha, you need to focus upon creating certain more and more security systems into your own life, because this is a alarming mechanism actually. Okay, as soon as you hit the 11th house, so this will automatically going to set some alarm inside you, like, okay, what is necessary and how much is necessary. And it's not the need which I'm only concerning and talking over the materialistic standpoint of view. I'm also talking about the other needs also, the spiritual needs of the person, the need of a person to have some intellectual conversations with any other person, because intellectual fulfillment is also very important thing. Okay, it's not you are only growing into the one aspect of the life. So this is the Dasha which is actually giving you progression to grow into the multiple domains of your own life. Now it also depends from individual to individual chart whether your 11th house Lord is going in the air element, fire element, earth element or water element. So different element have the capacity to show different kind of growth into the various parameters of the life. Like for example, suppose your 11th house Lord is going in the fire element. Okay, so fire is actually going to be giving you more aggression towards growing more into the materialistic side of the life actually. You are going to set your more and more ambitions actually, and then you will eventually go into that particular side of the life. If for example, your 11th house Lord going into the watery zodiac sign. Now water is going to be taking a very balanced approach actually. I'm not saying 11th house Lord in the water is going to create a pure spiritual angle into your own life, but here that person is going to be taking a very calculative approach towards living their own life actually. Because whenever the 11th house Lord going in the water, legacy is also going to play a very important role, because they are not the individuals that are only going to be building for themselves. Water elements have the capacity to actually build something and retain something for the future generation also. I will make some separate topic over this video, that water and the future retention, but if it is in the water, this can create for the future generations at the same time. If for example, your 11th house Lord going into the air element. Now in the air element, the other needs are going to be there. Other needs like intellectual needs are going to be there. It also represents the need for travel, need to see different location, need to visit different locations also. Restructuring of your own relationships are also going to be becoming a main focus if it is going into the air element. Because what will happen, air element is not, you can understand it's air element in Vedic astrology is ruled by Gemini, Libra and the sign of Aquarius. So if you look the element of Libra, which is the 7th house, is actually getting activated if 11th house Lord is in the air element. Okay, because for air, relationships are going to play a very important role. So they eventually going to work upon, okay, how can I improve my relationship with the other person? So their perspective of looking into the relationship is going to be changing. It may be if you are a married person, with the help of your partner also, this have the capacity to create significant changes in the thought processes also. And lastly, if it is going into the earth element, so earth is going to be following a part of materialism, and after reaching that certain path, then these individuals, they tend to look for the other areas also. Like, okay, it's like basically the person have learned everything in their own life, they have achieved everything in their own life. Now I want to look for something higher. Now that something higher is only going to be present up there specifically from the spiritual standpoint of view, or there are going to be other realms where the person is not much aware of, looking into the consciousness, speaking about consciousness, okay, even with regards to the future also. So that consciousness level is also getting more and more expanded if the earth element is forming connection with your 11th house. So this is actually going to be a pretty interesting to also check, okay, in which element my 11th house Lord goes. At the same time, as I told you, please cross check the second zodiac sign. Okay, in certain cases, If your 11th house is ruled by planet moon and the sun, so there are going to be one zodiac sign. Apart from this, all the other planets, whether it's Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Mars also, so they are going to be having different elements. So you also need to check where the second zodiac sign of that planet is posited, and then try to decode the results from that particular area into your own life also. Next, initially I told you it's a progressive, karmic and spiritual. Now we'll discuss over this karmic angle also. The reason why I am telling you it's a karmic dasha. I will tell you your 11th house is directly opposite to your 5th house actually. And if you simply use the concept of house to house connectivity mean every house is connected with some other house. Now by chance if 11th house lord is in the 5th and 5th is aspecting your 11th, so that relation is formed automatically. If your 11th house lord is forming connection with the 5th house lord, again the connection is formed. Here basically what you need to do, pay attention towards the 11th house lord, whether it is forming some conjunction with some other planets or not. It's sitting alone in the chart, or whether the influence of the Rahu and Ketu axis is present up there. Whether my 11th house lord in some special dignity like it's a Vargottama, or whether it is going to be retrograde in the horoscope, or it's forming some special Raj Yogas in the chart. Special Raj Yoga mean 11th house lord forming connection with 9th house, or maybe 11th and 10th lord are conjunct in the chart, 11th and 1st are conjunct, 11th and 7th are conjunct. So look into the prospect Raj Yogas in order to study this angle into the more detailed manner. Now for example, if it is a planetary conjunction, okay, we are going to take a different scenarios here. Suppose it's a planetary conjunction, your 11th house lord is forming conjunction with some other house. Now what will happen, then the 11th house lord is also going to be exemplifying the results of the second planet also. It's basically like you are merging the two energies. Okay, so suppose 11th house lord is Mars and it's forming connection with Jupiter in your horoscope. So what will happen, Mars and Jupiter energy is actually getting more and more exemplified. So you are not only gaining the result of Mars here, Jupiter is also going to be becoming as a beneficiary, or you can consider it's like, okay, I'm opening a joint account with that planet, and that planet is also going to be contributing some 50% into my this dasha. At the same time, if it is in a special case scenario, like suppose if it is Vargottama, it's becoming very powerful. If it is retrograde also, then it's a very complex problem actually. Because I don't know whether you remember my old videos over the retrograde energies or not, but because of the retrogression cycles, what will happen, individuals, they are going to go through the similar set of karmas again and again and again and again into their own life. And then what will happen, they are continuously revolving around similar kind of circumstances. So basically you are going to be then stuck into some loop kind of situation. Now it depends whether the 11th house lord is in the 7th house of relationship, so the loop of relationship is there. If it is in the 6th house, so debt loop, okay, you are going to acquire more and more loan, mortgage and debt from the bank, and very difficult for you to repay back. If it is into the 3rd house, continuous struggle over the siblings is going to be there. 2nd house with your family, with your savings also. So retrogression is going to be creating a continuous loop actually. Okay, but don't worry, it's not like that it's going to be a throughout. We need to pay attention towards certain Antardashas also, which are actually going to be creating that, intensifying that loops into your own life. And if, for example, if it is forming connection with the Rahu and Ketu axis, for example, then Rahu and Ketu are going to be exemplifying everything actually. I have discussed that part in more detail over the money and wealth series which I made for every ascendant actually. So in that series I have discussed the concept of the retrogression and even the concept of the slow moving and the fast moving planet also. Now the reason why I am actually discussing this slow moving and fast moving planets here, because I told you 11th house is having the stored form of energy of Saturn. Irrespective whether it's Mars, it's Venus, it will have some energy of Saturn in it. So you will actually going to be experiencing delays and natural slowness in the processes actually. Suppose some time is going to be taking 6 months for completion. This may take 5 extra month, 1 year to complete it. Suppose you start the construction of your own home in this or maybe you are looking for business expansion in this Dasha, everything is going to be possible, but the Saturn energy have the capacity to create restrictions and delays into your own life. It's basically like Saturn is going to test your internal patience which is present inside you, and then this will only going to hand over the results in front of you. So almost I will tell you this 11th house have the capacity to bring progression cycles. But if we compare this Lord with these houses, actually, if you really want to understand, like in comparison to the 3rd house, 4th house and 5th house and even 6th house, it's not going to be that much progressive, because I told you in the previous video, 10th house also, these houses, okay, this side of the chart, 2nd house, you can note it down, it's a sutra which I'm giving you, okay, 2nd house, 3rd house, 4th house, 5th house and 6th house. These are the progressive houses of Vedic astrology. Now, by chance 11th house Lord is going in these houses, then it's going to be a progressive. But these houses Lord sitting anywhere in the chart will going to bring progressions into your own life. Okay, this side of the chart, basically the 9th house, 10th house, 11th house, these 3 houses, they are working over the Raj Yoga kind of a style actually. Okay, it's like you see how the big politicians are operating. Similarly, these planets are operate like a politicians actually. So if certain advantage is going to be there, it's beneficial. If you are going into these 9th and 11th and there is no Raj Yoga, no major advantage, it's going to be average Dasha. Okay, it's not the Dasha where you can pull the trees from the ground and you will throw it away. It's not like that actually. This side is that Dasha, even if you are having nothing, no advantage, still you will be able to gain many advantages up there. Okay, although Vedic astrology is a speculative subject from many angles, by judging one planet, we will not be able to decode everything, but I hope still you gain some basic idea behind the 11th house and how that is operating in your life. If you gain some deep insights in this video with me, you can also send me super thanks also. And because any small contribution from your side will make me more motivated to create more such content over the YouTube platform. Regarding any consultations, you can drop me an email. Any marriage, career, business, spiritual consultation, even couple consultation also, do let me know. And I'm going to meet you very, very soon with the sensitive topic of the 12th house, Lord Dasha. And very soon then we are going to be going towards the Navman series, because we are yet to start our 10th house of the Navmash, which is also connected with the money and wealth. So we will go towards that series also. So we will meet you very soon actually. Okay, so till then please take care and Hare Krishna and enjoy your life.